Hey everyone, Mango7 here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7. Today we're going to talk about Luna. I've got to do it. I know you guys are tired of Luna, but we would just have to talk about her gearing, her skill ups, all the things about her, why you might want her over somebody else, and just an overall talk with our new waifu dragon. So to start things off with, I think she's pretty elastic with gear. This is the gear set I'm using. It's atrocious, just to get that out there. I'm not atrocious, I shouldn't say that. It's got some pretty solid things. We've got a Unity set here. We've got a crit set here. We've got a health neck. We've got a crit ring and a destruction pair of boots. So honestly, the way I look at Luna, you kind of have to understand how all her skills work. Especially since she always attacks with the most powerful element with her third skill. So when I am gearing for a DPS unit, I try to start with 85% crit. That's kind of what I like to hit. And the reason why is you have a 15%, we think. Correct me if I'm wrong if anybody has actual data, but we think it's 15% on elemental advantage. So if Luna, a water unit, is attacking a fire unit, they'll get 15% innate crit chance. So that means with 85% crit, you'll have a 100% chance to crit that unit. So with the third skill, that means also she'll have that 100% chance to crit against a water unit as well, for example. And also a fire unit and a earth unit. That's what I'm going for. All the units, every last one. Yeah, so she really has a huge increase there. So that's 85% crit is what you want to gear her for, in my head. And then we have her second skill, which goes from 20% crit and attack chance up to 30% crit and attack chance, or attack percent with her passive. So that means instead of needing 85%, you can subtract 30 from that up to 55% crit rate. Should get you nearish 100% crit most of the time, to the point where it's not really worth getting any more and you'd rather just rely on those RNG procs. So that's why I'm sitting at about 58% right now, which is monstrous because that really allows you to use a crit damage or an attack necklace. Unfortunately, I do not have a good enough crit damage necklace for her right now, so that's what we're using. Also, you're 100% wanting an attack percent ring. Nothing else will do for her. For your boots, you have two choices, speed or attack. Either work perfectly fine. I think speed is going to be better, especially considering she is probably primarily your defense breaker and you want her to go as fast as possible. But I just couldn't make that work, so I did with this instead. As for her artifact, I really like Ubris's Tooth if you have that available. Alternatively, Joker is good for all sorts of bosses. For Abyss, it's probably the best for Wyvern 11 as well. But outside of that, there's stuff like Hellcutter if you need. But I just sit with Memorandum on mine just because mine is so slow. I really need all the speed I can get to kind of catch up to things. For her main set, you have three choices, which are Speed, Attack, and Rage IMO. Either one works. It's one of those things where whatever one you have the best set or whatever one you have the set available, just use that one. Don't really be too picky. I think Rage is the best, but we also have the least Rage gear. I think Speed is the second best, but we also have that on all of our units. And then I think Attack is the third best, and that's probably the easiest fit for most people. And as for the subset, 100% crit rate, there's not really much that you want outside of her instead of just the crit rate, and that'll help you out to reach that 55%. So it's really, really, really easy crit rate target to hit, especially with just a couple decent substats and one crit set. You're going to get there even with a crit damage neck. So yeah, that's about it for gear. Again, you're looking for the same stats as always for something like this. You're looking for attack, you're looking for speed, you're looking for crit chance, you're looking for crit damage, and I forgot to mention too, you're also looking for effectiveness. You really want 55% effectiveness if you can get it onto her, because she's likely your primary defense down. If she isn't your primary defense down, that's a little less important, but for people like me who are using her as the single DPS, you really need that 55% effectiveness on there. And as for her skill ups, she's got two important ones. Her first one is effect chance on her third. So this means you're going to need to go up to +4 to get that 100% effect chance. Super, super, super important. Absolutely try to get that. And as for your second skill, this is another pretty big boost, up to 30% to attack and crit. So if you're going to be putting Molagora into your Luna. I would 100% recommend +4 here as your 100% primary. I think that's the one that has to happen no matter what. And after that, I would just dump points into her skill 2. And if she is your favorite dragon waifu, which is probably the case for a lot of you listening right now, you can also start dumping into the first skill as well, just because it takes not very many Molagora to get that first couple pits. And she's primarily using her first skill like 80% plus of the time. So keep that in mind, that that's going to happen like all the time, and you're going to get huge value out of this first, but also damage is not the best to spend your Molagora on. Yeah, so outside of that, if we take a look at her awakenings here, you obviously have to get all of them. She's got a couple unfortunate awakenings, like this almost does literally 0 for her for a lot of content, and then there's health after for her final. And again, Rengar student IDs, you can find them in World 2.2 or World 2.9 are my 2 favorite places to farm them. There's also some in this event coming up too. And as for this one here, this is absolutely worth getting. 6% attack, 15 Dreamtime circuits. I think they drop in 2.2 or 2.9 World as well while you're farming the student IDs, which is probably why I have so many of them. Yeah, that's about most of what I want to say with Luna. So let's just go take her for a spin right now. And again, I'm going to mention mine is so slow, like slow as molasses. So it must be all her armor wearing her down. I'm not really quite sure, but let's just take her for a spin. So I'm going to say ahead of time, my Wyvern team is not really ready yet. I haven't honestly cared too much about it. I've been just trying to make things work without really making things work, if that makes sense. So I'm testing out Tam right now. Mini showcase for you of that here too. And I'm also testing out my 5-star Luna. Okay, we failed last time. I'll try to do another one here just to show you what it's supposed to look like. Again, my apologies for not having a stable team right now. I just figure I will show you how it looks in her current set. And also this kind of shows the problems with her too, right? Because she is way too slow. Being slow is not a good thing, especially when you don't have Idol's Cheer up. I really planned her skill right now around Idol's Cheer, so maybe once I get her 6-star, we'll be able to combat that. Also, kind of a mini showcase on Tam too. I've been told by a bunch of viewers they're using her now as their main healer in Wyvern 11, which is just like shocking to me. So I'm trying her out just for funsies. She's definitely wiping me more than she's helping right now. I'll be real about that. But I also don't have Rod of Amaryllis or anything, which would really help the team out. So hopefully we can get to the next phase without transforming. Oof. Luna is squishy girl. Very squishy girl. Oh yeah, we'll get to the next phase without transforming. Nicely done, Tam. I'm really confident in this team once we set things up, because like the fact that they're getting so close now with a pretty underwhelming Angelica is really exciting to me. And a pretty underwhelming Luna, to be real here too. We're using, I think it's Egg of Delusion on Angelica. It's one of the defense increases or minus damage taken ones. So even though we do boost the Wyvern's turn twice there, it's still worth it because the ATB is just so monstrous. Yeah, it's the minus 50% one for sure. And this is the cool part. So, like I said, if I had this built right, Tam would have been connecting with Angelica, or not Angelica, with Luna there, and we'd be that much closer to a defense down. So we should get one hit with the defense down in here with Kisei at least, maybe even 2. And she doesn't crit, which is unfortunate. Still does 17,000 damage. Oh, don't worry, Angelica crit though. So I think the dragon's gonna push ahead of Kisei now, because of this. But if she doesn't, it'll be big damage. Oh, nice. So honestly, like, I think there's a good chance we just kill the dragon right there. If we had crit with Kisei and if we had crit with Kisei the time before. Just to kind of show you how things are going right now. Really going to need a defense break soon, though. There's a good chance we die and we don't break the shield because we're about to boost the dragon twice. So we're going to need something here. We're going to need Kisei to go twice, I guess, or at least have Tam Tam combined with Kisei. Give me a defense down. Oh, she went ahead. That's too bad. Come on, come on. Oh, no, it's so close. So close. Okay, so I'm going to leave that in for you and wipe like this. So this is just a showcase of the team so far. Tam Tam definitely causing problems, but definitely making things interesting at the same time. I honestly think if we were set up right, specifically with Joker and specifically with Idol's Cheer, we would have just killed the dragon before the first shield phase there. And that is with my weak set on Kisei, so really excited about that. So we will fail there, leave this up for the whole internet to see and be really sad about it. So yeah, that's it for now. That is my wondrous experiments with my Luna. Having a blast with her, of course. Going to be 6-starring her next. And after Luna, I've decided to do General Purgus after that. I want to do some fun things with General Purgus, and I want to use him for PvP, and I also want to use him for PvE in Wyvern 11 if I can, to try to get him to tank instead of somebody else. Because I think that would be really fun, considering we get attack buff, we get combat readiness, and we get tons of dual attack chance, which we probably won't be using. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.